guys, it's Arielle here from Fix My Books, and today we are going to do part 2 of how to survive an HST audit with the CRA. So in part 1, we enumerated, the reasons why, you could be audited, most likely the reasons why. And I am now going to go through part 2, which is where we go through the actual reports. But before we do that, again, I just have to do some disclaimers. So this is only for people who have done their bookkeeping through QuickBooks Online. So if you haven't done it through QuickBooks, this will not be, 100% what you're looking for. But you may want to watch through the rest of the video to see what similar reports you can pull from your accounting software to be able to respond to the CRA's audit letter. Next is that this video assumes that your bookkeeping has been done correctly, like 100% perfect, as if I did your books, right? So we are just going to get the data from QuickBooks Online and submit that to the CRA because we trust that data. Remember, when it comes to anything, garbage in, garbage out, your bookkeeping is not done correctly, none of these will pass the CRA, right? Next is that this video only shows you how to pull the reports or documents the CRA is asking for, and that this video only serves as a guide and gives out general information and is not supposed to be used as advice on how to respond to the CRA in your specific situation. So now that that is out of the way, let us go through the process of pulling these reports. So before we know which reports to pull, right, we need to know what the CRA wants. So this is a sample of the audit letter that you will receive from the CRA. So there are 3 important things in this letter that you should note. Number 1 is the period ending dates of the HST returns that they are auditing. So you can see here that they are auditing 4 HST returns in one go. Right? So this is just a sample letter. Most of the time, it will only be 1 period, but you can see here they are going after 4 periods. So just be aware that this is where you will see what periods you are being audited for. Next, the important thing is the case number. It's obviously not here, right? This is a real CRA audit letter, but all the personal information has been blurred out, so you guys can't see anything. So when you respond to the CRA, you must put in a case number, and this is the case number. So that's very important to take note of. Next is the date in which they want the response by, which is this one over here. So this is the deadline of you getting all these documents to the CRA, which is usually 30 days. You see, it says October 27, right? And then here, November 26. Is when they want your response by. So those are the 3 things you should remember from the first page of the audit letter. Next is the audit itself. Now, these 5 things, I've seen them repeated in literally all the HST audits I've been through. So this is the standard that they ask for, but be aware they could ask for more things. I have been through an Amazon audit an Amazon business HST audit where they have specifically requested some things from the Amazon account itself. So if you guys are interested in that or want me to make a video on an Amazon HST audit, please let me know. I've been through one successfully. Next is just, if you can't comply, blah, 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 talk to us, reach us here. So this part over here is really useless. So we're really focusing on the first and second page. The first page, you need the important details. The second page is actually the meat of the audit. This is everything that they are asking for. I am now going to switch to the Word document. So I'm just doing this because I can start highlighting things. It's hard to do it over here. So just so you guys are aware why I'm doing certain things. There, and then the one over here. So this, right, is a dummy QuickBooks account. This is not a real account. This is a sample company available for everybody to use. But for the purposes of this fictitious HST audit, we are going to use the data in the sample company account so you guys see exactly which reports I pull. And my advice actually to you guys would be to have a folder. Let's say audit folder sample. Pretend. To have a folder, right? And then have, number 1, right? Number 2, so that when they are asking for number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, you can put them in the correct folders and you're not just downloading everything to your downloads folder. Just keep it organized, right? And then now with that, we are starting. So first thing that you have to remember with all these reports, it must show the same period ending. I've seen several people who are giving different period ending dates, so that's going to be messy. Whatever is in the audit letter for the period ending, right? That is what you need to submit. When you get an audit letter like this one, that has 4 period ending dates, 2017, 2018, you're going to submit all 5 for each period. So you're actually submitting 20 items because 5 for 2017, 5 for 2018, 5 for 2019, and then 5 for 2020. Okay? Be aware that that is how this is structured. So if you were actually going to do let's say 4 audits, you have to do 2017 one and then do folder number 1, right? That's how you should structure it. I'm giving you guys tips on how to really do this correctly. So with that being said, let's get started. And the first thing the CRA wants is a detailed description of the corporation's business activity, including a summary of the taxable and non-taxable revenues. So this detailed description of business activity, the client does that. So we don't do, Fix My Books does not do that for them. The rest of these, we will pull the reports for the client. And then we're going to ask for some additional documents from the client. But this thing, the detailed description, the client has to do it. So it could be very basic. A lot of people get intimidated by this, but it's not as hard as you think. So pretend it's Fix My Books that's being audited. If the CRA is asking, okay, a detailed description of Fix My Books' business activity, it could be as simple as Fix My Books is a virtual bookkeeping and tax filing service business that services small businesses across Canada. That's it, right? Don't need to be fancy. I told you what the business does. They know what it is, period. That's perfectly acceptable. Next, they want a summary of taxable and non-taxable revenues. So this is the first report we're pulling. So go to reports, okay? It's this easy. Click find report by name, click in, type in taxable sales summary. And then once you're here, make sure the period is correct. Don't just export this and think you're done. Make sure the period is correct. So this we're looking for last year. Okay? And then this is the summary of the taxable and non-taxable sales. Export this into PDF format, and this is what you will put in folder number 1, right? I'm telling you guys to get organized. So we're doing it by folder or by number. So this one is done. This whole first thing is done. Next, for each return in the above noted period, a detailed listing of gross sales, the GST, HST collected / collectible, blah, blah, blah. This is what they want. Go to reports, go to profit and loss, okay? Last year, again, period end. I know I'm saying it so many times, but it's so easy to get tripped up, so I'm constantly reminding you guys. Once you are here and the period ending dates are correct, click the total income line. And then once you're in this line, right, in this thing, this is not complete yet. There are things we have to edit here to make sure that it has all the information that the CRA wants. So, settings, right? We're just going to customize this report so this report shows what the CRA wants to split. I'm going to remove class. The CRA doesn't want to see that. I'm going to remove balance. The CRA doesn't need to see that, but we're going to actually put that back. We're going to put the tax amount because that's what the CRA wants to see, right? GST, HST collected. So that is that. And then I'm going to put balance back after that. So you see how it looks like this. We are actually going to take the split out just to make it clean. So it has everything that the CRA wants. And we could also actually remove the memo or description because the CRA didn't ask for that. We're trying to make everything as concise as possible if you guys are catching my drift. So once we have this, click this, and then we are going to export this into Excel. And then once we export this to Excel, you can see that this is the report that the CRA is asking for, right? So you have the invoice date, customer name, and sale amount, which is the ones over here. You have the invoice date, the customer name, and then the sale amount, right? Those are the three things. And then the GST, HST collected. So this is that. And then what I do for the balance line is I actually add these two together. So you get the total, and then I change the title to total because you don't actually know the total of the invoice. It's not shown. So I just do that, and then I drag this all the way down, and then I'll remove this, and then I'll remove obviously the blanks just so it's like that. And then drag this one more time over here. There. And then I'll bold all the totals. You know, just like making things pretty so that they are uniform, like that. Oops. Ooh, why is that not showing? Just top border. Okay, just the top border here. Okay. So there, it looks uniform, and then we're obviously going to take all the highlights out so that it looks clean. Click save, and that's what we're going to show the CRA. Next, what you're going to do, so with that, honestly, number 2 is done. So next, what you're going to do for number 3, they want, you see how it says from the detailed listing of gross sales, right? Which is number 2. So from number 2, the 5 largest invoices. So what you're going to do, this is the easiest part that I do. Click move or copy, create a copy. So you've duplicated number 2, and this is how we'll get number 3. So I'll just name this 3, I'll name this 2, so you're aware. So once we're in number 3, what I do is I actually remove these. Remove the, whoops, why is it doing that? Okay, remove the totals because we don't need that. We're looking for something specific. I'll remove these. I'll remove all the totals. So you see how that's that, and I'll click delete. And then, okay, this one too should have been deleted. Okay, so you see how it's only the invoices listed out now? What you're going to do is you're going to highlight this, okay? And then you are going to click filter. And then you are going to click custom sort. Expand the selection and then click sort. We are going to sort by the total. And then we are going to go largest to smallest. And now that you have, this is going to be the top largest sales, right? So all we're going to do is to take note of the largest sale amount. So we need 5. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need invoice. Obviously, the largest is 1001. I'm just going to highlight this in yellow. 1001. The next one is invoice 1002. Okay. So that's it. Oh, it's showing up as, let's just put this as general and not as a number. Yep. Okay, and then this is 1005, right? And you can see the next two after 1005 is 1002 and 1001 again. These two. Which obviously they're already here. We're not going to include them. So the next one would be 1003 and then 1004. Those are the largest invoices. So here, again, we're just going to go to general, just so all the amounts are there. So now that we have the largest invoices, again, this is what we were looking for. We are now going to go to QuickBooks itself. So go to Sales, Invoices, because we need a copy of these invoices, right? So last year. Okay, so 2022, let's say. Okay, so you can see that these are the invoices. They're the largest because they're the only invoices from last year. But I'm just showing you guys how to do it with like your real QuickBooks Online account. It's not going to be this clean, obviously, as we, what do you call this? If this was a real account. So 1002, 1001, 1045, and so on. So these are the 5 invoices that the CRA wants. So you could either click print and then print them one by one like this, right? The CRA is going to be asking for this invoice. So this is to just get the listing, right? The CRA wants the actual invoices. So you're not going to submit this page 3. You're going to submit the actual invoices to the CRA. So you are going to click this, batch actions, print. So it's going to be 5 invoices in one PDF file, right? Just so to keep things clean. These are the 5 largest invoices. So save this, and this is what you're going to put in folder 3. This is what they are asking for, the 5 largest invoices. Okay. So now we are done with both 1, 2, and 3. Next is going to be the ITCs. So once you have that, you are going back to reports. They want a detailed listing of the input tax credits claimed. Should include each purchase, invoice date, supplier name, description of goods, GST, HST paid or payable, and should show the total GST, HST paid or payable for the related period, right? If the listing includes invoices that are dated in a prior period from in the periods noted above, please provide the related detailed ITCs for those prior periods. So, to get this thing in number 4, all you're going to do is to click HST, okay? Go to the summary report. Make sure that the period ending is correct. So, last year, right? And then once you're here, you're not going to export this. Once you're here, you are going to go through line 103. On line 106, and it says input tax credits. This is the detailed listing. So this is the summary at the moment, but if you click this, you'll get the detailed listing there. So you see how this is the detailed listing of the input tax credits. So it has the each purchase, the invoice date, supplier name, description, amount of GST, HST paid. That's all in there. Except the description, there's nothing. But so all we're going to do is this exactly. We are going to export it to Excel. Okay. So this is number 4. This report is number 4. For this, that report is number 4. Exactly this. This is the ITCs that they are looking for. Now, we are going to duplicate number 4. To get the listing of the largest ITCs we need for number 5, like what we did with number 2 and 3, right? So from this report, number 4 is how we're going to get number 5. So same thing, I just move this down over here, delete that line, filter this, again, filter, sort and filter, And then, but this time we are going to filter by the amount, not by the balance. So sort and filter, custom sort, expand selection, and then based on the amount, not the balance, it would be the largest to smallest in ITCs. Oops. Sort and filter, custom sort. Why is it not? Sort by descending. Okay. Okay. There we go. So you've sorted it largest to smallest. So even though this is the total, which obviously it's not counted, it's the total, it's not an actual ITC. So this is actually the largest ITCs, right? But you're not gonna count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like what we did with the sales, right? This has to be from different suppliers, not just the same supplier again and again. So what I've seen, right, what they want from the different suppliers would be 1, 2. So if we do the same thing we did a while ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure why it does that all the time, but we'll just do general here. Okay. And then 11. Okay, there we go. So number 1 is venue rental. We're just going to put the names here. And then number 2 is Mark Howard. He can't be 3, 4, 5 as well, right? So you have to make sure that they're from different suppliers. So number 3 is this Jack Hudspeth. I'm just going to copy paste that here. And then, so this is number 3. The reason I'm highlighting all of this is so that we can remember. And then number 4 would be this one, Garcia's Event Place. Because it can't be Jack twice, right? So number 3 is Garcia's Event Space. And then number 5 would be this, Cass Hayden. These are the largest ITCs from different suppliers. Again, it can't just be venue rental and then like 5 of Mark Howard, right? That's not what the CRA is looking for. They want it from different suppliers. So once you know that, right, this is all the ITCs that you've claimed. With my clients, I actually have all the invoices that they ask for during the reviews. This is just something that I do for all my clients. We pretend that they're going through an audit right away, and I make sure to double, triple check things before I even file. Before I even file the HST return, I have these already. So like what I said, I've been through so many of these audits. The audit that I've been through recently is an Amazon audit. We literally got the audit letter on June 6th. And we submitted the reply by June 9th. And it was actually delayed because the client was traveling. So it was difficult to kind of coordinate our time zones. But that's literally, we got the letter and then respond within 72 hours. That's how efficient we are at Fix My Books when it comes to these things. So when I tell people, like, yes, I've been through several audits. Yes, sales tax is my specialty. This is what I mean by that. And I'm not like just, making myself feel better. Like, I know the quality of work that we produce. And that's why I tell everybody with Fix My Books, we stand by our work. If you are reviewed or audited for any reason that is related to something that we did for you, we will handle, the HST on your behalf with no additional charge to you, right? Like all the time I spend going through these audits with my clients, they do not pay me a single dime for that CRA response. That's built into our monthly fees when they do their bookkeeping with us. So that's just something that clients sleep better at night knowing that. So now that we have these, the listing, right? So these are the invoices that we need specifically. If you don't have this on hand, then you need to go and look for these. So I'm just going to do the total thing like before because it's not the total and it's kind of hard to see. So in this example, you're looking for an invoice that is the total of 5,650 that was paid on this date. Do you get what I mean? it's the totals that you're looking for, not just these amounts. So once you have all these 5 invoices, and again, they don't want just the listing, they want the actual PDF receipt / invoice for these expenses. So once you have that, put that into folder number 4, and we are done with number 4, right? And then we are done with number 5, because this is number 4. Just this listing is number 4, and the invoices themselves are number 5. So that's what you need to do to be able to survive this audit with the CRA. And again, this is assuming you did everything correctly, 100%. And with that, you should be able to do well with your audit. Again, make sure that everything is complete. You are submitting everything that they are asking for in terms of the PDF actual receipts. Not just this, they need the actual PDF receipts. You guys know what I mean, right? And I have seen sometimes where the client was not able to produce the receipt that they are looking for in particular because they don't bill by the month, they bill by a contract. So there are some times where you can submit a contract to the CRA and they will accept that. For example, let's say you have an equipment rental agreement saying that you're going to pay, $1,412 each month for this equipment, and then that is $1,250 plus HST of $162.50. So even if you don't have the actual receipt, right, the PDF receipt itself, but you have a copy of that contract, you can give the CRA a copy of that contract, and they are understanding enough to work with you, knowing that, hey, obviously here it's detailed that on the 5th of the month, every month, this amount will be charged, and then this amount is the HST. They're not mean, you guys. You just have to comply with them and obviously be respectful, right? Like, don't be belligerent, don't fight them. I've seen someone who was just super belligerent and was just acting in bad faith. They didn't understand why they were being audited by the CRA, and they responded in the worst possible way, I believe. So that one did not turn out well, not because we didn't have the documents, but because the client was not, she was just fighting the CRA every step of the way. So that was a learning experience as well. I've been through that where the client is belligerent. I've been through, 99% of these, the client is not belligerent and they turn out well, right? So it's also how you deal with them. And they are not evil people. They are just normal people. You guys have to understand that. They're not targeting you. They're not giving you a hard time just because, some people think, oh, why am I being you're not being targeted. Just it's not anything like that. This could be just a spot check or just related to your industry. It has nothing to do with you as a business owners per se. So just be aware of that. I'm sorry if this video was very long, but there's a lot of data to get through, and I just wanted to show you guys, how this would work. So in this example, let's say I will, let me just look at something. Okay, so you guys, I just want to run through everything before we end this video. Again, I know it's a long video, but it's a very important topic. So number 1, let's just go through all of these to make sure it's complete. A detailed description of the corporation's business activity. I've gone through this. You know what to do. You can just type this out in Word, save it as a PDF file, the explanation, and then include it in number 1. So in number 1, you can see there is the taxable sales summary. Okay, and I'm going to highlight this to just show that it's complete. Number 2 is the detailed listing of gross sales. Showed you guys how to do that. That's in number 2 over here. That's done. And then number 3, from the detailed listing, remember that's why we did the highlights. You need the 5 largest invoices, which is this one, they want the actual PDF invoices, guys, not just the listing. So that is number 3, and that is done. Next, number 4, the ITCs. They want the listing, and this is the actual listing. And then from the list, and I showed you guys that a while ago, you want the actual PDF of the receipts, which is this one over here. Obviously, it's not, but they want the actual PDF receipts, right? It should look like this, the ones from your suppliers, guys. So there, that is number 1 through 5. You are done gathering all the documents that the CRA wants. And now that you are done gathering all the documents, it's now time to respond to the CRA. So remember how I said you must enter the case number? All you need to do is to sign in to your CRA My Business account. And then on top, it says Submit Documents. Click that. And then once you're here, the case/reference number that is in the letter, enter that over here. And then click Next. Once there will be a portion where you will be able to upload all the documents that we just gathered. So 1, 2, 3, everything in here, you start uploading. Okay? So I've shown you guys the whole process from the letter, from getting the report up to the actual submission process. So if you guys have any questions, please comment them down below. And once again, this is Arielle from Fix My Books, helping you fix your books. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you always get notified whenever I upload new videos to my YouTube channel. And once again, this is Arielle from Fix My Books, helping you fix your books.